Unemployment has reached the lowest rate in over half a century. African American, Hispanic American, and Asian American unemployment have all reached their lowest levels ever recorded.
Brundlefly, do you have any thoughts?
I've got a lot of them. I'm extremely disappointed. You may see me in the chat. I'm through with this guy. I don't know what we voted for. I don't know what the point of voting is at all. Because fundamentally, it's like he's doing what we criticize the conservatives of. This bending over backwards to be respectable. Pandering to break. Like, let's trot out some fucking blacks that we let out of jail. Like, that's going to make a difference. Like, I'm sorry, white people voted for you. All you've done is tax cuts for rich people, criminal justice reform, and I guess we're going to do. You're going to give like some benefit that only Hispanics are going to get with the parental leave stuff. It's just crazy. Kevin, what do you think? Because I saw in the chat that the guys are reacting, saying that you're carrying water for this guy, but it's like, we know we've seen how ineffective, the drive for respectability has been for the Republican Party. Why is he doing it? Why is he? Unless he's just beholden to his daughter. This guy gets up there and he's like, 58% of new jobs have gone to women. It's like, great. I'm glad we've got more women in the workforce. That's going to be good for society. Oh, and we're also celebrating more women in Congress than ever. Like, yay! And the freaking, as JF is calling them, the Ku Klux Klan bitches on the Democrat side, all dressed in white. They cheer for that shit. It's like, I'm glad we got them cheering. I'm so glad they're cheering about anything he says. That makes me so happy and so hopeful for the future.
I predicted your response before the speech began. That since he did not order the immediate arrest and summary execution of Nancy Pelosi, then I'm done with him because he's a traitor.
That's not. That's. Are you saying that's the alternative? That's not the alternative. Sure, I would like that, but I would be happy with a lot less. I'm just saying, like, again, like, is there anything different about him than like what a Paul Ryan speech would be?
Yeah,
or like a John Kasich speech. Like,
look,
what would be different?
The speech isn't important. Okay, the whole the State of the Union address is this terrible laundry list. And it's larded with quasi-celebrities and little kids that are brought on. It's not important, okay? The media has made it important. Look at what he does, not what he says.
Well, what has he done? What is he doing? Where's the wall? Where's the wall, dude? Where's the Army Corps of Engineers? When's the deadline? Next week? How many days does he have? Because you know what? It doesn't even matter because he's not going to do anything. He's not going to do anything. We all know it. I've been hopeful for so long, but like, what is Q going to save us? Is Q going to save us?
You don't know that nothing is going to be done. You'll have to wait until February 15th like everyone else.
I'm going to be as old as you if I'm, before this shit happens. It's how I'm feeling. It's like, to be honest, I feel about Donald Trump the way I started to feel about Richard Spencer, where it's like, I'm just making excuses for the guy, like, oh, you never know, he'll turn it around. Just you wait, just you wait. And it's like it ain't coming, and it ain't happening. and I just got egg on my face for being the last guy to realize it.
Well, it's interesting that you're comparing him, Donald Trump, to Richard Spencer. Let's wait until February the 15th to see what he does or not. And then if he announces that there's not going to be a wall, then I think you'd be justified in shouting.
Okay, fair enough. I'm just, even the tone of how he spoke about the wall was, in some sense, less. It was less aggressive than the speech he gave in the Rose Garden, talking about the 3-week extension. I don't feel like we're.
Of course, it would be less aggressive. This is the State of the Union address. It is meant to be a big bipartisan affair.
Is it? Most of the time, only one side is clapping.
There is all reaching out to the other aisle. Obama, one of his State of the Union addresses, he was going on about border security.
They all did that.
This is Obama, okay, 2009. It's a controversial issue. I know that people get riled up politically about this, but ultimately, here's what I believe. We are a nation of immigrants, number one. Number two, we do have to have control of our borders. Oh, okay. This is Obama, State of the Union. We do have to have control of our borders. Now, what's interesting here is how the Overton window has shifted, because the Democrats, as Trump has pointed out, are now the party of open borders. That Trump, for the last few months, has building up support for a unilateral decision to build the wall. And part of that is pointing out repeatedly that the Democrats have abandoned the position advanced by Obama as recently as 2009 and are now an open borders party. The president could have done these things a long time ago, but what a president needs to do is to build public support for controversial actions. That's what Trump has been doing for weeks now.
I hope you are right, but, there's just such a laundry list of, when is this coming? When is the Mueller investigation going to be shut down? When is Hillary Clinton going to jail? Or was it just empty campaign rhetoric? Was I fooled? Did she not break any laws? If she broke laws, why isn't she in jail? So on and so forth. What are all these sealed indictments the Department of Justice is sitting on to round up all these traitors of the United States? What's ever going to happen? In the meantime, we see the guys he's at real risk of losing his base. Because it's kind of like you said, I guess February 15th, there's nowhere else to go. If he decides to side with Javanka and doesn't build it, he's not going to win re-election. It's going to be he's going to be in the teens. He's going to be in George W. Bush financial crisis territory.
He has record support amongst Republicans. He's in no danger currently of losing his base.
Do you think if he doesn't build the wall, he's going to keep him? You think he can just keep stringing people along indefinitely?
Let's wait until February 15th. Let's wait and see what happens.
What do you think he's going to do?
I think he's going to do what he promised.
You have hope. So
he's going to do. I believe he's going to do what he promised.
Okay. What if?
I can't foretell the future more than anyone else can.
Anyway, I just came on. I just had to vent.
So I want to go back to what you were saying, about Trump and your objection to his State of the Union, particularly to the style of the rhetoric. To put it bluntly, what kind of country do you think you're living in? I just want to know. Let me finish here. You've heard of Matthew Shepard?
Yeah.
Matthew Shepard was killed, a young man.
Mm-hmm. He
was killed in horrifying circumstances. Right from the start, it was known that Matthew Shepard, his life was very strange. He was raped as a teenager in Morocco. How does something like that happen? Then Matthew Shepard is turned into an American saint. An American saint. Oh, and there's legislation named after him, which, government enforced homosexuality, that sort of thing. The Matthew Shepard Project tours the nation. The saintly homosexual who died for our sins. It turns out the whole fucking thing was made up, that he was a meth dealer, and that the meth dealers that tortured and killed him, they were all butt buddies. And has that made any difference to the Matthew Shepard cult? No.
Nope.
That's the society that we live in now. So if you're expecting one man like Donald Trump to turn this on its head within the space of 2 years or 4 years, you're making a serious error.
The thing is, I agree. I mean, I agree with you. It's like, oh, the celebration of we're solving the AIDS crisis. Like, yay, we got our priorities straight. I hear you, but this gets back to this idea of the economic conservative, socially liberal, right? The 3%, the 4% constituency of America. Now, they seem to be extremely overrepresented in the elite, particularly the media elite, right? So everyone you see on TV tends to exhibit these values. Freedom for business, at least the multinationals that signal the right way, and these social liberal policies and virtue signaling. But the thing is like, are the American people really there? I mean, I think, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and Bernie Sanders wouldn't have so much of a constituency amongst people if people weren't sick of modern American corporate capitalism. And regarding the social stuff, people are afraid, man. But are the majority of people really interested in bending over backwards to signal about gays or celebrate minority unemployment while ignoring where white people are at? No mention. I mean,
yeah, well, there's a
really
difference there. Homosexuals are 1.5% of the population. They
Right.
lead everyone around by the nose, which strongly suggests conspiracy.
Yes.
Strongly suggests conspiracy. But look, you should be pleased by the development of AOC and her popularity, because it represents a shift in the left. The libertarians famously have trouble interpreting social cues. And so they don't understand that the only reason that the left has allowed them to exist is because they're fellow travelers.
Yeah.
The libertarians have had no success on the economic side. On the social side, they've had enormous success in destroying community, destroying tradition. And AOC is announcing to the left and to the Democratic Party, no, we're not interested in your neoliberals. We're not interested in your libertarians. We're not going to be worshiping billionaires anymore.
Yeah.
This is good news. And the good news
Okay.
that the libertarians aren't going to have a home and the neocons aren't going to have a home.
Okay, let me read from Ann Coulter's reactions to the speech. She is not happy. She's not been happy with Trump for some months now. Golden Beaches of California. This was the lamest, sappiest, most intentionally tear-jerking State of the Union ever. Please fire your speechwriter, real Donald Trump. So Trump is against childhood cancer, AIDS, and the Holocaust. Glad I tuned in to hear that. Trump uses the State of the Union to urge Congress to pass the USMCA, which is basically NAFTA 2.0. Is he aware that USMCA makes it easier for tech companies to censor his supporters? Americans in America killed by ISIS, 0. Americans in America killed by illegals, tens of thousands. Bring the troops home and get them building the wall. If we don't build a wall and deport illegals, we will be a socialist country in about 5 years. Nice words, though. 45 minutes in, we got 30 seconds on the wall. He better be breaking ground tomorrow. And yes, Trump believes the laws of supply and demand are suspended when it comes to legal immigrants.
Yeah, I just don't know what in the speech his base is supposed to feel good about. Why is it when I watched Obama, I didn't feel like he was reaching out to me? I didn't feel that way. Okay, he said some platitude about border security that none of us believed. Okay, and now Trump spends the entire time saying how great he is at accomplishing the goals of Democrats and their pet issues. Why do we have to be like this? Why, it's been ineffective. We voted for Trump because he was anti-PC, that he was going to get up there and say, we need a Muslim ban. Let's be serious. That's the State of the Union. We need to ban Muslims. We need to deport rapists and murderers. He got up there, Kevin, and he said, quote, I want more people to come into this country than ever. They just have to come in legally. More people than ever. They just have to come in legally. Oof.
Well, I mentioned that before you came on the stream. Words have two meanings, a formal meaning and a real meaning. And the State of the Union address is a place for formal meanings, where the things that are said are the things that are agreed to. There's a consensus around them for the most part. Trump said that great nations do not fight endless wars. That's pretty controversial. It's controversial amongst the Democrats, who are returning to their historic role as the perpetual war party. And it is controversial amongst the Republicans who, sought to displant the Democrats as the perpetual war party. So there's an advance there that Trump is signaling that troops are coming home from Afghanistan and from Iraq and from Syria as well. So, walls work and walls save lives, Trump said. I don't expect anything from a State of the Union address. Nothing. Well, except maybe that it's not deranged like Bush's second State of the Union address, when he starts talking like a revolutionary in a Dostoevsky novel, Fire in the Hearts of Men. That was scary, scary stuff.
I think you mean his inaugural address, his second inaugural address, Kevin.
Second inaugural address.
Yeah.
That chilled my blood, that one did.